The Jacob Media Sports Network, in partnership with 97.3 ESPN, brings you the Mays and Eytan Show.
Middays with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander.
Now, it's the Midday Show with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander on 97.3 ESPN Radio.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, Harry. I didn't even watch the Phillies.
Well, I tried to watch it.
I didn't even watch it. I was watching other things and getting ready for live golf action at 1:40 in the morning.
Well, were you there at 1:40 in the morning to see the
Not
opening
in Northern
tee shot?
Ireland, but I was there in spirit on television and internet.
Well,
yes.
that's what I'm asking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you saw the opening tee shot.
I did. And I saw an Irishman, a
Who
local
shot it?
guy.
Who was
The
it?
guy with a D.
Darren Clark.
That's right, Darren Clark. Now, he jumped out to like a -3, right?
Well, he birdied the first hole.
Yeah. But we've got live action at least to count back on that. And
Yeah.
I feel good about turning my back on I needed a break. I needed a break from this team, from this discussion, from the vast back and forth that we get when they get killed one night, they get come from behind, walk-off victory the other night. I needed a break, man. You know?
I understand. And you had a break last night with the storms that blew in. We got some incredible lightning. Then I knew that was going to be headed to Citizens Bank Park. They showed a shot of the sky coming. It looked like the end of the world.
Ominous
and they brought out
clouds.
the tarp, and then some dope, runs out there and uses it as a slip and slide.
Highlight of the night, right?
I mean, really, that was the highlight.
Yeah,
of
at
the
least
night.
for the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean,
So listen.
But then they got Nola going today.
Okay, great.
The Lima's down there, and she's not
Now,
exactly.
she's not happy because
not
it's
exactly
so hot,
thrilled.
right?
Yeah,
This is a business person's schedule or
it's on YouTube today.
special, they call it.
It's not even on regular television.
Well, this is what happens. They're trying to push it. You would think, though, that they wouldn't use the Phillies as some sort of introductory team.
Well, you got the Dodgers.
Yeah, I guess the Dodgers are the big bull.
You got Aaron Nola at least pitching for the Phillies.
Do you think people are going to be locked into this?
I don't know. I mean, they're minus 110 today. The Phils are.
Yeah. So she's unhappy because she has to sit through the heat, or she has to watch this baseball team?
Both.
What do you think it's more of? The heat?
It's probably no, because if she had the choice of going out and trying to play golf in this heat, she would do it, and the heat wouldn't matter. But sitting at Citizens Bank Park for an obligatory 3 hours is not what she wants to do.
Okay, so to be fair, sitting outside doing anything other than playing golf, maybe even except like laying out at a pool or something, right?
That's about the only thing.
That's the only. So the heat is oppressive out there. So
It is.
People that are working and doing things that are much more strenuous and difficult and important than the two of us combined.
Like there's a guy out here in front he's a roofer, and he's out here working in this heat. Now that's a tough job.
His T-shirt looks like Patrick Ewing's jersey
I know.
halfway through the first quarter.
Or like Billy Hahn. Remember Billy Hahn, the old basketball coach?
Who just sweat through
He
his
would
suit?
sweat through. He'd wear like dark. He'd always wear seems like he'd wear black, like a black turtleneck or something.
Yes.
And he'd sweat like right through it.
Yeah.
Gary Williams was
Gary
the same
Williams,
way.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
old Maryland coach.
Gary Williams would have sweat stains on his suit.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
ridiculous
it's
how
awful.
anybody could sweat that
I mean,
much.
I can't imagine the dry cleaning bill for the Williams household.
I think, well, the good thing for him was that he was making so much money, he could probably afford to get new suits
Just
or
new
at least
suits.
a sponsorship.
There were one-offs.
Seriously. Yeah. You couldn't change. The guy had to change suits like Ewing was changing jerseys.
Yeah.
He'd come out with a brand new suit in the second half.
I know a guy, I'm not going to name him, but he had a sweating issue that he had something done with his glands underneath his arms and his armpits, like to stop sweating.
Right. I think the problem with that, I looked at that.
You
Because,
did? Because you've had a sweating issue from time to time.
When I do shows, I sweat.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. But the problem with that is that there's got to be sweat. That the sweat doesn't disappear.
Right, where does it go?
Somewhere else. And since I don't have hair, I don't want to look like when I'm sweating, I just take my head out of a bucket all the time.
Yeah.
I have enough trouble trying to conceal the fact that my head might sweat or glisten.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing a hit or whatever it is, we got the show, sometimes we have the cameras on, and I'm sweating, it's not going to come out of my arm. I'd rather it come out of my armpits than somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you can fill in a blank wherever you like.
Exactly.
All right, so here's
Pick your orifice.
Seriously. All right, here's what we'll do. We'll open up the text board for you. You want to talk Phillies, we'll let you do that, 609-403. 0973. We've got some pretty cool things that happened in the Open so far, some crazy things that have happened in the Open so far.
It's been awful.
Brooks Koepka's right there at the top.
Well, yeah, isn't he always?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's like a cool story.
Okay, the sun comes up in the morning. Yeah, Brooks Koepka's at the top of the leaderboard in a major championship.
Okay, and I also have, and we need to thread and work this in, because this story that popped from a U.S. qualifier from Jupiter, Florida.
Okay, one of my favorite spots.
Me too. You know, my dad lives down there.
Is that right?
I had no idea. My dad has been in Florida over a year.
I'll go down and visit him next time I go down there.
Well, I'm trying to get down there as well. And apparently he's in Jupiter. I had no idea that he was down there.
It's a great place.
Everything that goes wrong comes out of Jupiter, Florida, in that city or that state. You know
what do you mean?
Well, you've got a lot of crazy things that have happened. People from Jupiter getting into trouble. People going to Jupiter getting into trouble. You know, that's the Robert Kraft infamous spot.
Well, yeah, of course.
You know, so what happened is this guy comes out in this tournament. He's a U.S. amateur qualifier, right?
You have a name?
Yeah, Trey Billadero.
Trey Billadero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So he comes out and pars the first 2 holes. Then triple bogeys the next hole.
What is he, David Duval? No. You hear what happened to him? He birdied the first 2 holes and shot 90 today.
Well, no.
That's a former winner and a former world #1 shot 90.
You would have to triple that score to get to the score that this guy finished with.
Are you serious?
I am 100% serious.
This was this morning.
This past week.
Oh.
He was last weekend he was caddying for somebody at the John Deere Classic.
Okay.
And now he was in a U.S. qualifier.
Okay, so he's trying to qualify for the Open.
Correct.
Okay.
So what happened is he comes out there. Oh, this is beautiful. This is a glorious story. This is everybody who has ever golfed on any course who has just had it. Mm-hmm. But with him, he triple bogeys on the 3rd hole and then proceeds to like 10 out on the next couple of holes. He had a couple of holes where he was way above 10.
Seriously?
Yeah. There were times in which, but here's the thing, he was just having fun. There were times in which one time he took a 2-iron, drove it like right down the middle on a par off of a par 5. His second shot hit the green and then putted like 14 or 15 times on the green. And then at one point shot the ball with a club off the green back towards the tee box.
Okay, so in other words, he's making a mockery of the thing because he realized a few holes in that he had no chance.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
He should have just withdrawn.
Well, what he tried to do is he tried to break the record for the worst.
So let's be infamous. Let's be famous.
Absolutely.
This guy's a tool.
Well, he was cracking jokes the whole time with the guy who was playing with on the twosome. And I mean, at one point,
who did he caddy for at the John Deere? Because if I'm that guy, I'm firing him immediately.
Matt Every.
Matt Every.
Yeah, Matt Every.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm Matt Every, I fire him immediately.
So he also got disqualified partly because of him making a mockery of the game.
Sure.
But also because his card was off. He actually scored a 202.
Oh, he signed an incorrect scorecard.
Right. Because the guy didn't know how to mark something higher than a 19 on a hole.
Well, then the score doesn't count. Then he doesn't get the record for the worst score ever because he signed an incorrect scorecard.
Exactly right.
This guy is an idiot.
Yes. On top of all of that. So that can't be worse. Who hit the wrong ball?
That was David
That
Duval
was the ball.
today.
All right, so my point of it is that nothing could be worse than that. Like,
I'll tell you.
Rory McIlroy hitting a +8, right?
Yeah, he ruined my day. I wasn't even awake because I slept in today. I slept in till about 5:45, almost 6 o'clock. And I get up and I check my phone. I turn it on. And immediately I have a text there from a buddy who says, Rory, +4 on the first hole. I'm like, great. I just wanted to just crawl back into bed and just turn out the light.
How much money do you have on Rory?
It's not about the amount of money. I took him in
you do
my
have
survivor pool.
Oh,
See,
okay.
because only 2 people ahead of me, I'm in 9th place, could use Rory. They had already 6 of the 8 guys ahead of me had already used him. So I'm like, I got to take him. I don't like him, but I got to take him because he is capable of being incredible, and he's finished, I think, in the top 4 each of the last, 4 Opens. So I got to go with him.
What's the bare
he
minimum
shoots a
you
79.
need to finish?
What do you mean?
In order to...
Well, if he misses the cut, I don't get any points.
Okay.
It's based on the amount of money the guy makes.
Okay, but it's a survivor pool, so week to week, are people eliminated?
No, the golfer you use is eliminated.
Got it.
Like you can only use the guy once.
That makes sense. But unlike the NFL, where if you take the Browns
and you lose, you're out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool though that you're still in it, but it also, like, nobody would use Tiger Woods this weekend anyway.
Well, doubtful, because it's hard for
It's
his
not him,
back
right.
to hold up with this kind of weather.
Phil, same thing.
He does
right?
better. Yeah, Phil lost like 15 pounds on a fast. He looks totally different. I don't know how he can have any strength to play, good golf.
Is he just going to do old man golf?
He was like way over par today. I forget if he finished like 6 or 7 over.
He started out even, right? And then just went
everybody starts out even.
Well, sure. Very fair. Very fair.
We're all even standing on the first tee.
Yeah.
And then Rory pulls an iron on the first tee.
Driving
iron. And hits it out of bounds.
Was it that same 2-iron? I bet that this jerk hit down in
it might be
down in Georgia.
I don't know, but I feel for all those people, those fools that spent money on that 61-degree commemorative wedge from TaylorMade for Rory's 61.
Was it to honor the?
Yes, honor his performance when he was a kid.
Is that right?
Maybe they'll come out with a 79-degree wedge now. What a joke!
Have you ever melted down like this guy?
Of course, regularly.
No, not like.
No, not like that guy.
Like Bill Ardero.
No.
Bill Ardero.
I would just withdraw. I would just quit.
He missed the cut by 124
shots.
I
mean, come on, man. You're a disgrace.
He's listed as a 2-2 handicap.
Well, I'm sure. Most of these guys who are caddies are really good golfers.
You ever heard of Annie Park?
No.
He's caddied for Annie Park. He's also caddied for Jim Herman.
Okay, I've heard of him.
Yeah. And
I've heard of Matt Every's won a couple of tournaments.
Well, yeah, Matt Every. Last week he was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny, the comments that came out. So this incoming LaSalle freshman, Christian Fortis, is the poor son of a bitch who was charged with playing alongside this guy.
Oh, is that
as
right?
As a twosome, yeah. So he's quoted as saying, "I've never seen anything like it before. It was quite an experience." He started off like normal. He was actually not a bad golfer. He had some nice shots, 2 pars, and then it started to go a little downhill.
Well, that's total disrespect for the guys who are playing with you. Total.
You know what makes it what makes matters worst, not worse. Worst is, guess what happened on the last hole?
Par
is a par 5.
Okay.
So he's massacring the
So
course.
he had 3 holes where he made par, and the other 15 he shoots 200 over?
Yeah.
That's almost impossible.
Yeah, I think that's in that feat alone.
Geez.
His second 9, the back 9, included a 25 on the par 4 second, 21 on the par 4th, and a closing par
that's what I'm
on
saying.
The par 5 9th.
The guys you're playing with have to wait and watch you do this. I mean, that's total torture on them.
You know what's crazy, though?
They should have forced him to just leave the golf course after like a few holes. They should have just said, "Hey, you're out. You're done."
Call security?
Yeah, just
call the
escort
marshal?
this guy from the grounds, please.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, I haven't. I've never heard of anything like this.
You know what's crazy, though, is that more people, I would bet more people than not, even if it's 55%, I'd bet more people than not listening are closer to shooting a 212 than they are shooting par on any course. Is that fair?
I don't know. I don't think about these ridiculous things like you. Yeah, Brooks Koepka's tied for the lead at 4 under.
Yeah, Phil Mickelson finished terrible.
Yeah, what was he?
+5, 7 bogeys.
Okay, +5.
Ball finished +19 at a 13 on hole 7.
That's what Rory was after 3 holes. I would sign up for that today, +5. He's now +8.
How about Duvall, +19?
Yeah.
What an embarrassment that is, huh?
He had a 13 on 1 hole.
Yeah, it's hole 7.
Yeah.
Now, Josh sent us this. Josh Heddig, our producer, sent us this Thompson tee. Is this a Pete Thompson production, or is this something different?
It says Thompson tee on Shark Tank.
Claims to prevent sweat stains on shirts.
Oh, okay.
So freedom, comfort, confidence.
That sounds like a pretty good item.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
No. Not terrible at all. All right, so we've got a couple of guests on the show today. Golf-related at 12:40, so we'll have to move Deadwood. Do you want to do Deadwood at 1:30 or 12:30?
Well, we're going to be talking Deadwood with one of our guests.
I guess you're right.
Too, so we can actually do Deadwood in the second hour.
Now, he's seen the movie. You have yet to see the movie.
I have 1 episode to go.
Finale of
the
season
finale,
3, right.
And then the movie. That's all.
And the best thing about the show, for me, that you watch it, is that you can share equally the hate and disdain that I had watching this theater acting troupe.
Yeah, that part of the storyline,
my God.
I would just cut that off. That's like gangrene to me. I would just take a dull knife and cut that off.
I agree. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That really is a good
But
way
we're going to have
put
Rich Lerner from the Golf Channel. He does a fantastic job quarterbacking, all their coverage over there, does all the live from broadcasts, and he's tremendous. He's actually, he's from the Lehigh Valley area. He was a Temple guy, so he's a local guy. I look forward to talking to Rich at 12:40, 12:45.
Nice. And then Dan Buff, as you mentioned, will join us at 1. You wanted to get Dan back on to talk about his update. Now, he wrote a recap of this. He's also a movie critic.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does published stuff, like movie critic stuff. So he talks about the movie, but obviously he's watched the show as well to get to that point. So
I don't want him spoiling the movie.
No. I think you can talk about the movie in generalities without – and I told you the biggest problem that I had was that, you can honor people that have left the planet by referencing them in the movie, and I was pretty disappointed they did not. And I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, the thing is he's now following me again on Twitter.
So that was another thing you wanted to bring up.
Because when we had him on before, when the St. Louis Blues were making their run to the Cup final, or their eventual Stanley Cup victory, we had him on, and he and I were both following each other. Then I noticed the other day that he dropped out. I guess he figured, I'm probably never going to be on with that guy again, so I don't need him. I don't need to see his nonsense.
Well, do you think that he's a serial follower, unfollower?
Maybe.
Like, hey, I'll sneak in when they need me and I'll follow.
You know more about this kind of behavior than I do.
Yeah, but the problem is that you get alerted. So you'll know him coming on and off, and he would have to, hey, I thought I was, it took too long. Like, I've seen that sometimes where it takes too long to load a profile, and it doesn't register that you're following, and it says that you're not following, and you hit the button, but then it registers, and then it shows you that you went from following to unfollowing, and then you have to follow again.
Right.
Maybe he pulls that trick.
Man.
I don't know.
But anyway,
maybe he pulls that out of his hat.
I noticed, I know you were doing your 2 to 3 o'clock show yesterday, and then I believe you took Ace out for a walk, a much needed and deserved walk.
Right.
And I think Ace found a squirrel,
God.
I saw a video of him, trying to climb the tree.
Yeah. Now,
what happened with this?
We're walking out. And
were police involved at the end?
No.
Okay.
Thankfully, no police.
Jeez.
And this was a public area, right? So I wasn't infiltrating somebody's yard or anything like that.
Right.
But there's this squirrel or a group of squirrels or multiple squirrels, I don't know, and they're in this same area. And it's this one tree. It's directly across the street from the Conshohocken train station.
Okay.
And there are 2 small little trees on the walkway that these squirrels are there and scamper up. And I wasn't walking him this morning because I was down in Delaware, but he did it again. He caught another squirrel out there. My girlfriend was walking him, and he tried to scale the tree. So I don't know. This came out of nowhere. And listen, I've had Wimes before, and I know they go after squirrels. They're bred for little things like that nowadays. But the point for me was I just don't know where this is coming from. No idea. This came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So now he's squirrel hunting every time we go out, and he pulls to get to this one spot, and he just chills there and tries.
And he waits for him.
Yeah. So now we're moving them.
I think these squirrels. I think squirrels are the kind of varmint that know that they're just trolling dogs like him, like they're just messing with him. You know what I mean? Oh, here he comes again.
And then come up there and
here comes this dopey Weimaraner. We're going to mess with his ass again today.
I tell you, though, he can
drive him crazy.
He can jump pretty high.
Yeah.
He can get to that low branch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if he jumps up from the tree, he can get to the low branch, which concerns me because he's so top-heavy that if he goes straight up, it's almost like, anything top heavy will turn and spin over.
Right.
So you have to
he'll fall over backwards.
Exactly. You have to catch his back, otherwise he'll break it.
Now, and the thing is, the squirrels probably know you by now too. They're like, oh yeah, here comes the Weimaraner with the dopey owner that's watching King of Queens on his phone and isn't really paying attention.
They know me by sound.
We're going to mess with the dog.
Absolutely. They know me by sound. They know me by the sound of Kevin James' voice, Leah Remini's voice. 609-403-0973 on the text board, Harry. Phil's lose today. Doesn't matter. Nola's pitching. Your thoughts?
Oh, so in other words, they don't give him enough run support,
if
I guess?
If that's it, yeah.
Yeah, well, that probably would happen, and then they'd lose 3 out of 4 in the series. They could still salvage a split if you call it salvaging anymore.
Now listen to this. Our buddy Dan Schwartz, right, texts in. Eytan, it's cool to see that golf is really starting to grow on you since your show started with Harry April 1st. Our show, April 1st, Dan, come on. Playing golf game, watching golf, buying new putter, playing golf at Huntington Valley.
Yeah.
Well, it's your influence. It's also the girlfriend's influence, the fact that she plays, her family plays, and they belong to a club that's pretty nice.
Oh, very nice.
I feel like I should take advantage of that.
Well, yeah, that and also the fact that you want to be invited to the ShopRite Pro-Am next year. You don't want it to just be me. So now by the time we get there next year,
now where is that
you'll
hosted?
be worthy. Well, remember, I went down to Seaview.
Right, that's right, where you lost your keys. I
didn't lose them. No. The valet misplaced them.
Yeah, there was who was trying to defend the valet? Was it Pete Thompson?
Pete Thompson's friends with him, of course.
Yeah, of course.
They probably valeted a few of Pete's personal parties.
But I tell you, that tells you how genuine a
guy
like Pete is.
They were nice guys, though.
Because Pete could meet somebody for like 5 minutes, right? And then
he's
defend
like
you in the conversation.
Yeah, sure.
Like, listen, the guy is very genuine. He's a genuine guy. You got to understand that he's working hard, man. He's working hard. Love Pete Thompson, man. That's not bad, man.
No, that's pretty good.
Hey, it's Pete Thompson.
Yeah, it's a pretty good impression.
Yeah. I tell you, Harry, these guys are out there. It's 106 degrees. Cut them some break. Cut them a slack.
It's Pete Thompson.
I gave him a nice tip, and the guy wanted to give the tip back, and I said, no, you keep it, man.
All right, well,
okay.
You didn't want to draw the ire of Pete or anybody else who could, like Mike Gill would have even come down on you for taking the tip back.
Well, as he should.
Right. Now, are we going to get a chance to talk to Mike today? He's on remote.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
He's not here tomorrow.
The inaugural.
He's taking off.
Where's he going again?
I have no idea. Maybe he's going to Baltimore again.
No, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think it's a staycation.
Oh, okay.
Now, you have an update on Tiger?
I love staycations.
People need an update on Tiger. We can't go long enough without going obligatory update mode on Tiger Woods.
All right, I'll look it up here. Now, I got to apologize because my, this PGA Tour site is very slow.
Tiger's plus
upgrade.
3 through 6,
Wow.
bogeyed hole 5, double bogey hole 6. That's kind of what we expected, though.
Yeah, I'm not expecting much at all out of him in this tournament.
Gill and his 13-year-old baseball players are going to Altoona. Let me tell you something. I know this from experience. There ain't nothing going on in Altoona but baseball. That's it.
Yeah.
Baseball on a minor league level and baseball on a 13-year-old level. That's it.
Don't they have a minor
They
league
do.
team in Altoona? Is it the Altoona Curve?
That's right. That's what
Why
I'm
do
saying.
I know that?
Well, because they play the one of the Phillies teams. That's why.
Oh, do they play the Reading Phils? Are they in that league?
I believe so, yeah.
Jeez.
All right, let's get TJ in Center City. Wants to talk to us about the golf and the Open. TJ, it's Mays and Eytan.
Harry Eytan, what's up, boys? How you doing today?
We're doing great, man.
What's up? So what's going on with this Open? Your boy Rory and Dan Schwartz's boy Rory McIlroy with a quad bogey on the first hole and a triple bogey on the 18th hole. It looks like the pressure hit the Northern Islander today, and he took it on the chin.
He
does look that way.
He hit for the cycle. TJ, do you know that he had a bogey, he had a double bogey, he had a triple bogey, and had a quadruple bogey? That's hard to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a shame.
For a guy like him.
We were talking the other day if Harry would be able to beat somebody on tour. Well, I would have at least been able to time McIlroy today because I usually played the USGA double par on that first hole, and I would have maxed out at 8. So I at least could say I would tie McIlroy on a major hole.
Yeah, and you would have beaten David Duval on the 7th hole because he carded a 13.
Yes.
Do you think you could have done that?
Yes,
Do you think you honestly could have beaten Duval, Harry, on the third? Do you think you could have gotten a score better than plus 13 on that hole?
Absolutely.
There you go. See, that's now. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you guys talk. I'm listening.
It's our show, bro. We're going to be here for another hour. We're at Dunphy Ford, our home here each and every Thursday.
I've already spilled my bucket anyway.
Yeah. Why don't you take the parting shot, TJ?
On at noon. Thank God you guys came on at noon because there's nothing else to listen on radio until noon. And the PGA Tour radio, we have this idiot Roger who keeps referring to Tony Finau as Tony Finau.
Finau. Yeah, I noticed that. I was driving over, listening to the same thing.
Oh, TJ,
Great
listen,
call.
man. Thanks
Great call,
for the phone
TJ.
call. We got something for you. Listen, if you want to listen to something before us, just go to Derailed. It's up on all the platforms, the iTunes, Google platform. It's about a 20-minute podcast that we did this week with you, me, and Mike Gill. So it's essentially like the crossover on steroids.
Yeah, it was a special guest appearance by Gill. Yeah, Tony Finau. That was annoying the hell out of me, too.
Why was that happening? Nobody was correcting him?
No, I don't know. I don't understand.
You would think something would happen, right?
Guys cover the sport. You think they know how to pronounce it.
Featuring superstars Chris Jericho.
Well, there you go. Yeah. It's not easy for everybody out there. Even the best of the best slip up.
It's like Francesa trying to pronounce Louis Oosthuizen's name. You should go back and listen to that.
Francesa or Russo?
No, Russo would be. I bet Russo would be even worse. You're right, but it's Francesa's. You can find it on that Funhouse account, which I suggest everybody that likes sports radio follow on Twitter. Funhouse.
It's a Thursday, so we're live at Dunphy Ford, 7700 Frankfurt Avenue. We're just a few blocks away from the historic Frankfurt and Cotman intersection. I do see a little cloud coverage. I do see a little breeze. So if you're out and about, we're hanging out here till 2 o'clock, but plenty of great things happening here. Great opportunity to buy a new vehicle. So when you step in, you know it's the family element, the family atmosphere that you experience each and every time you walk in the doors. Dunphy Ford, 7700 Frankfurt Avenue. Visit us online, dunphyford.com.